That's the bulk behind what we need to do. Offensively, we've got somebody that started in every position except one back. Defensively, we've got to go in and build some pieces, but we feel like our recruiting class is going to allow us to do that. So it's brought a lot of excitement, a lot of direction to our campus, and as we get ready for football season.
Well, Coach, you were on the ground floor of starting Wayland's program, and anytime you start a program, NAIA, there tends to be some roster turnover. Now you've got 50 lettermen returning. How are you? Is it easier now to incorporate the new guys coming in to what is already established, than it was before? And how have you gone about that?
Well, you have your culture started, how you want things done and what you want done. But it's still going to fall back on what your seniors do and your leadership, like these two young men and what they're setting for those young men that come in. It's like anything you do. If your seniors step back and just sit and watch and say, hey, freshmen, here you are, here we are, stand there, it's not going to ever come together. But if you've got seniors that we have very fortunate to have that reach out, try to pull those young men in, come in, be a part of our culture, be part of what we do. It really helps you make steps and be who you want to be. Wayland's unique, and we're not like everybody else, and so they have to come in and be a part of that culture that's there at Wayland Baptist University.
All right, Keaton, I'm going to turn to you here. You're one of 10 returning starters on offense.
Yes, sir.
So what are your expectations for the offensive unit this year?
Mostly just dominate. I think that was our main problem last year, is we had a lot of new guys out there, it seemed like, especially on the offensive line. And we didn't know how to play together, basically. So I think that's one reason why we all stayed over the summer, was to kind of get more of a brotherhood going, kind of get to know each other a little bit better, and hopefully play better as a unit.
No, that was a decision that you guys made as a unit?
Yeah, there's 8 offensive linemen that stayed. Pretty much all the starters and then a few seconds.
Okay. Is there a particular game or opponent that you look forward to playing every year?
Oh, no, just as long as I get on the field and hit someone, I'm fine.
Okay. All right, Mitchell. The first question I'm going to ask you is, now you're a senior this year, and I don't know if a whole lot of people know this, but in high school you were a 6-man quarterback, right?
Yes.
So having made that transition and made it successfully, last year you threw for 1,700 yards and had 12 touchdowns, and you've had a number of good years here in a row. What was the biggest thing about transitioning from 6-man to 11-man football?
Well, the field was definitely more crowded. A lot more people out there, but I think the biggest transition was the timing. In 11-man, it's all about timing, and 6-man, I just basically waited around until somebody got open. But 11-man, you have to be on top of it. You have your timing, everything works as one.
Okay. Are you still moving from 6-man to 11-man? Obviously, you've made that adjustment. You've improved each year. What do you look at this year and say, this is what I want to improve on as a quarterback?
Most thing I want to improve on is my timing and accuracy and leadership. Just getting everybody to play as one and stick together, and no matter what, that we're all together, and then the winnings and everything will come from that right there.
And you say leadership. How do you lead? How do you go about leading?
I'm a little vocal, but I like to think that I show you can follow me instead of listen to me. I play more with my actions than with my words.
Okay. Thank you. So from last year, where you had some success, what's your favorite memory from last season? Any of the touchdown passes stand out, or are you like everybody else and only the interceptions stand out?
I try to forget about those. But I don't know, it's just when everything starts coming together. That's what I like to see is, you know, we had like the 5th year seniors my sophomore year, and then coming in last year, it was a brand new deal. You know, like Keaton was saying, there's all new faces on the line. It was almost like a brand new start. I mean, the guys have been there, but they never played before. And so everybody's getting the feel for it, and it was about the 4th or 5th game. And to see everything starting to come together, like we started rolling, that was the best thing I saw. I think we were playing Lyon College, and that first half, it was awesome to see all the pieces coming together.
Excellent. Well, Butch, I'm going to leave this with you, and as the Dean of Coaches here in the conference, what kind of, you see where the SAC is at now, and we're going on this venture of football. What would you say about the history and where we're at now in terms of this conference?
I think we've really strengthened the conference by coming into the SAC. I think the football teams that have been in the Central States Football League will still be great football teams that are well coached, but having the umbrella of the SAC to direct us and pull us together, I think will make a big difference. I also think, and this is just from the point of being a Raider for the NAIA, that the SAC will actually draw more recognition because of name, because it's been there a long time, that we won't have to overcome, well, you know, what is the Central States Football League? I think people look at it as SAC, they know the number of championships that come out of the SAC, and I think it'll help us broaden and grow football much quicker.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate your time. I'm going to dismiss you guys and have Lyon College come on up. Coming up for these guys is the new head coach of Lyon Scots, and that's Casey Creehan. And then joining him is Tre Hawkins, and Tre has been there since the inception of the program. And he is a defensive back, a senior from Houston, Texas. Coach, welcome to the league. Give us your opening remarks as a first-year head coach at Lyon.
Well, first of all, very excited to be here. This is a historic day, the first media conference in the first year of football for this conference. I want to thank Stan for putting this thing together. This is first class, and you know, you and your whole team have done a tremendous job. Glad to be at Lyon College. It's a great academic institution and a proud tradition in athletics too. And we're led by a tremendous president. We have a new president who has an outstanding vision for our football program and an even bigger vision for our institution as a whole. So very excited to be at Lyon College, honored to be at Lyon College, and excited about the future there. Proud to introduce to you, next to me, Tre Hawkins. Tre is a senior and a defensive back. Our program is relatively new as well, and Tre has been there since the beginning of the program. I've obviously only known Tre a short time because I've only been on the job about 6 months, but he has immediately impressed me, not only for his football playing abilities, but who he is as a man and who he is as a character individual. But the thing I'm most proud of Tre for is his academic success at Lyon College. He was, and not to embarrass Tre, but he was taken into Lyon College as more of a higher risk student out of high school, and he's been a success story that we all can be proud of and we like to see. Tre has excelled not only on the football field but in the classroom as well, and he's just a testament to what this program is and where we hope to be in the future.
So, Coach, I don't know that people realize, but you inherited a winning team, 6-5 last year, and you have 40 lettermen returning on the roster. So, when you got to Lyon, what was the thing that impressed you about that group? And then moving forward this year, what's one aspect that you said, okay, we need to improve here, though?
Well, one of the things that impressed me is how hard these kids are willing to work. You know, they've been through a lot at this institution, you know, from starting football, like Coach said, in dirt lots and no locker rooms, and a locker room that's a bunch of hangers. And these kids immediately embraced our culture as a coaching staff and what we tried to instill bought into that culture and worked very hard. And some really good leaders, like the man sitting next to me, has aided in that process.
All right, so your special teams player of the year, preseason special teams player of the year is your guy. Is he still going to handle all those chores coming up this year?
He will, and I'll tell you what, there's no kicker in college football I'd rather have. His nickname's Nacho, that's what we all call him, but there's no kicker in college football I'd rather have than him. You know, we put some pressure on him during practice at times in terms of you make this kick, no conditioning, you miss, we're conditioning, and they weren't always easy kicks, and you know, he nailed them every time, and he did miss one time, and you know, the message to the team that day was, if that ever happens to our football team, not one play ever determines the outcome of the game, and you know, but at the end of the day, when he's put in those situations, there's no other kicker in the league I'd rather have on our side than Nacho.
Tre, let's talk about defense. So you, last year, 37 tackles, 4 interceptions. How do you prepare yourself for a game? How do you get yourself into a position where you know, hey, I can make those plays and get in on those plays?
A lot of it is just before games, I like to relax. You know, I do yoga. I just take time to really visualize what I want to do before the game, and I watch a lot of film. That's the only thing I do. If I cut the TV on, I'm watching film. So it's just a lot of more so visualizing and knowing what the play is going to be before it happens, and it helps me. It helps me a lot for my game.
Now, over your career, you've played everybody in the room except for the new program.
Right.
So what's one game that you're maybe looking forward to this year, or over the course of your career since Lions started football, has a rivalry developed with a program?
I wouldn't say a rivalry, but it's more so just I have a good respect for like Arizona Christian, SAC, because I know those guys are gonna come with it. And Langston, you know, I know those guys. I kind of really got to buckle my helmet up. You know, I really got to sit down and prepare for those weeks. But those are the weeks that I want to prepare for. You know, because I want to go to the next level. So those are the type of games that I really kind of like and I get to prepare for. And, you know, you got the Offensive Player of the Year playing for SAGU, so I kind of look forward to something like that, being on defense. Just good competition.
It's good. Coach, I'm going to close this with you. And in looking at offense, defense, special teams, new coaching staff, how much adjustment do you think there will be in the first couple games of the year, or do you guys think you'll hit the ground running?
Well, I mean, it's hard to say whether we'll hit the ground running. You know, my message to the team will be embrace the grind and cherish every day. Not everybody gets to play college football, and you know, playing at Lyon College is by invitation only. So I just want, as a coaching staff and as a football team, for us to embrace the grind, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey with each other every day, and you know, like Coach said earlier, work hard every day. You're never going to regret hard work, and I think if we do that, you know, our success as individuals and our success as a unit will take care of itself.
Gentlemen, thank you. I appreciate it, and I wish you the best of luck this season. Coming up to the stage at this point will be Oklahoma Panhandle State. Coming up is their head coach, Russell Gaskamp, and then Nate Leathed, a linebacker who is a junior from Colorado Springs, Colorado. So, Coach, I'll just have you start off with your opening remarks.
First, I feel really bad for whoever put this all together to not drink one of these bottled waters, so I appreciate that. I want to thank, first and foremost, the Sooner Athletic Conference stand for putting this together. This is a first-class event. Look forward to many in the future. I want to thank the Texas Westland Athletic Department and all of their sponsors. This is a type of event like this is not possible without you guys, so I really respect you guys stepping up and getting this done. I'm so proud to be a member of the Sooner Athletic Conference. I have kind of a unique perspective of this deal. Panhandle was once an affiliate member of the CSFL. We spent a year in the Lone Star Conference, and then had the honor to be able to join the CSFL and join the NAIA ranks last year. And I can tell you, just as a side note, the level of play in this league is so much better than when we started first playing teams in this league in 2012. And there's some outstanding coaches in this league, some guys that are doing great things with the programs, and so we're just very proud of it. I know that there's a national champion that's going to come out of this league very soon. Obviously, we hope it's Panhandle State, but there's some great football being played. Last, I'd like to again thank our administration, our athletic director Megan Mulcahy, and our president Dr. Tim Fulton for giving me the honor. I've been the head football coach. This will now be my 7th season at Panhandle State, and we have some incredible things going on at our university, including a major renovation to our game field, a dynamic scoreboard that's going up. And there's a lot of people on campus that are working very hard to get that done right now, so I want to thank them. I also want to thank our assistant coaches and our players. We have 70 guys that are on campus right now this summer working out. I think that's unique for an NEI program, and that is being done solely because they're willing to make the sacrifice to stay there over the summer and push for what our ultimate goal is, which is to win the SAC conference championship. So I want to thank all those people.
Coach, thank you. Now, we've actually got a couple questions from the Panhandle fan base that came through on Twitter here. So we're going to ask you those.
Were any of them from my bosses?
Well, no, probably from the SID, but not from your bosses. The first question involves, what was your rationale for scheduling a non-conference game with NCAA Division I Grambling, and will the Aggies try to play more FCS teams in the future?
We have, since I've been there, we have played, I believe, 5, this will be the 6th Division I opponent that we've played. I think it's a great experience for our guys.